Hi everyone. This video isn't the usual chemtrail video. I'm going to be revealing something which I don't think anybody else has noticed, if you like, my very own conspiracy theory. Except of course that the real conspiracy theory is the one which says that everything is okay. Anyway, I will show you some footage of chemtrail activity over my house at the end of this video, but first I want to address the question of who makes money out of chemtrails. I used as my starting point the excellent research by G. Edward Griffin called What in the World Are They Spraying Us With? I'll leave a link at the bottom of this video. Having commissioned soil samples, he mentioned that we are being sprayed with aluminium, barium and cadmium as part of a geoengineering experiment to effect climate change. Now, apart from knowing that barium and cadmium are harmful to human health, I don't know much about them. Aluminium, as we know, is implicated in Alzheimer's disease, which is rocketing since these chemtrails began in the 1990s. And everybody, of course, has heard of aluminium. So I started to wonder who the aluminium tycoons in the world are. I didn't need to think very long about this because I remembered a newspaper article which came out sometime last year. There was a meeting at the villa of Nat Rothschild in Corfu. Here you can see the villa both on the outside and the inside. Guests were apparently none other than Peter Mandelson, George Osborne, and a man called Oleg Deripaska. Now, Oleg Deripaska is a Russian oligarch who made his fortune in the aluminium industry. There was some intimation of scandal in the newspaper reports at the time, which is why I remember the story. But we really don't know exactly what went on at this villa. Wouldn't you like to have been a fly on the wall? Could there be any significance in this, I thought? A meeting between our politicians and a man who made his fortune in the aluminium industry, when a programme of spraying the population with aluminium dust appears to have been set in motion. So I decided to look Oleg Deripaska up on Wikipedia. What I found astonished me. These are the words on Wikipedia. Deripaska is one of 16 business leaders who drafted CEO climate policy recommendations to 68 leaders outlining international business community's proposals to tackle global warming. So Deripaska was heavily involved in determining world leaders' response to climate change. Obviously, this could have a totally innocent explanation, i.e. that Deripaska was concerned about CO2 emissions and wanted to effect change. He could well have met George Osborne and Mandelson in order simply to negotiate reduction in tariffs for his aluminium. But we have a right to ask questions about why he was speaking to world leaders about climate change, and also to ask whether he is profiting from the sale of aluminium to world leaders for some kind of geoengineering of the climate. This was the sky above my home a couple of weekends ago. It's by no means unusual to see this number of trails in the sky. What amazes me is how people can have this kind of activity going on above their head and not notice it. Even if they do notice it, they think it's normal. My friends, this is not normal passenger jet activity. And I'd like to add that if one day it's ever proven that we have been sprayed with noxious substances, I think that it will really be the crime of history, the biggest crime in history. And I really do think that we can't forgive it. We have to punish the perpetrators of this crime. The stuff that comes out of these planes is very persistent, unlike jet contrails, and it disperses very, very, very slowly to form clouds. In the pictures you see, I personally watched the chemtrails disperse. It took quite a long time, but eventually it formed cloud-like streaks in the sky. And I can vouch for the fact that if the sky would have been completely blue if it hadn't been for these chemtrails.